People say words without thinking. Sometimes those words land softly, and sometimes they hit straight at the scars we try to hide. When she laughed and said, "A single dad like you could never please a woman," everyone at the table chuckled, everyone except him. He didn't get angry. He didn't argue. He simply leaned in, smiled calmly, and said two quiet words that changed everything. "Wanna bet before we begin? If stories about kindness, second chances, and unexpected human connections speak to you, take a moment to subscribe, like, and comment. Below your support helps this channel grow and spread more stories like this. Welcome to Kindness Lights, where small moments reveal big hearts. It was a work-related gathering at a cozy downtown restaurant. The kind with low lighting and soft music that made everyone feel a little more confident than they really were. A colleague had insisted, "You need to get out more." They'd said at 38, Mark was known around the office as dependable, quiet, and slightly boring. What most people didn't know was that he had been raising his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, alone since she was 3. Her mother had passed away suddenly, leaving Mark to learn overnight how to braid hair, pack lunches, and be both mom and dad. He hadn't dated seriously since across the table sat Vanessa, smart, sharp-tongued, and effortlessly confident. She had a way of teasing people that made others laugh, even when the joke cut a little too close. When the conversation turned to relationships, someone asked Mark why he was still single. He shrugged lightly. "Life's been busy," Vanessa smirked. "Busy or complicated?" she asked. Then, with a playful laugh, she added, "Come on, Mark. A single dad like you could never really please a woman." The table erupted in laughter. Mark felt the familiar tightness in his chest, not because she was wrong, but because he had heard versions of that sentence before. From dates who canceled after hearing about Lily, from friends who meant well but assumed he had given up on love. But Mark did. He snapped back. He smiled, not a forced smile, a calm one. "Wanna bet?" he said quietly. Vanessa raised an eyebrow, amused. "Confident for a man who leaves parties early for bedtime stories." Mark chuckled. Those stories matter. Something about his tone made the laughter fade. The moment passed, but Vanessa noticed something she hadn't before. There was no bitterness in him, no defensiveness, just steadiness. A few days later, Vanessa found herself thinking about that smile against her usual instincts. She agreed to coffee when Mark asked, casually, kindly, with no pressure. Their first date once tea flashy. No expensive restaurant, just a small cafe near the park. Mark arrived on time. He listened more than he talked. He did try to impress her. When she joked, he laughed. Not to impress, but because he genuinely found things funny. When Lily came up in conversation, Vanessa expected the usual awkwardness. Instead, Mark spoke about his daughter with warmth, not complaint. "She is the bravest person I know," he said. "Losing her mom changed her world. I try every day to make sure she still feels safe." Vanessa did no one to say no one had ever spoken about responsibility like that to her. Not as a burden, but as love. Over the next few weeks, they kept meeting slowly. Naturally, Mark never canceled last minute. If Lily was sick, he said so honestly. If he was tired, he admitted it. He never pretended to be someone else. One evening, Vanessa finally asked, "Does it bother you that some women think dating a single dad is too much work?" Mark thought for a moment. "Kindness takes effort," he said. "Anything worth building does." That answer stay with her. The real turning point came one rainy afternoon. Vanessa had a terrible day. A presentation failed. Her boss criticized her publicly. She felt small and exposed. Without thinking, she drove to Mark's place. When she arrived, she saw him through the window. He was sitting on the floor helping Lily with homework. When Lily got frustrated, Mark didn't raise his voice. He didn't rush her. He just said, "It's okay. We'll figure it out together. Vanessa felt something shift inside her. She knocked softly. Mark opened the door, surprised but welcoming. Hey, you okay? She shook her head. He didn't ask questions right away. He made tea, let her sit. Let the silence breathe. That night, for the first time in years, Vanessa cried in front of someone without feeling judged. Mark listened. Not to fix her, just to understand. That was when Vanessa realized the truth she hadn't. Teased him because she believed single dads couldn't love deeply. She teased him because she had never experienced that kind of kindness herself. Weeks later, she apologized. I was wrong, she said quietly, about what I said at dinner. Mark smiled gently. I know you didn't have to be so kind after that, he shrugged. Everyone carries something. Kindness makes it lighter. Months passed. Vanessa didn't fall for Mark because of confidence or charm. She fell because he showed up consistently, patiently. Honestly, he remembered small things. He respected boundaries. He taught her that love wasn't loud or dramatic. It was steady. One evening as they watched Lily fall asleep during a movie, Vanessa whispered, "You won that bet." Mark laughed softly. It was never a bet. It was a lesson. Kindness isn't weakness. Patience isn't boring. And love doesn't disappear just because life gets complicated sometimes. The people we underestimate are the ones who understand love the deepest because they've had to give it. Selflessly, Mark never tried to prove her wrong. He simply lived kindly. And that was enough to change everything. If this story touched you, remember this: a single moment of kindness can rewrite someone's entire belief about love. Be that moment for someone today.